Beauty. Definition of beauty is different for everyone. These days, the definition of beauty is changing rapidly depending on the trends. What's trending today is more important, and basis that, the beauty standards are decided. People are looking for attention, followers. There's a game of follow and unfollow, and of course, there are people who are really depressed if they do not get enough followers or enough likes. There are situations in our country or even globally where teenagers are struggling and fighting their own wars with themselves. Do you think it's a safe world, especially when social media has become so important and beauty and acceptance has become a very important part of social media? So, today let's talk about beauty and acceptance. And to talk about that, I have yoga teacher and personal counselor Divya Naithani. Thank you once again, ma'am, for joining us. I have to say this, a lot of positive response, a lot of amazing comments, and a lot of suggestions that have come from people. And I'm feeling very positive about this.
Great.
So, yes, and all thanks to you and to all the
To you
viewers who have
too.
been. Yes, and to all the viewers, of course, and the
Definitely. Yeah.
people who are watching us. So, just for my audience, this phone call that I made to ma'am is because of which this whole series has started. No, I called ma'am and I asked this very random question to her, which I'm sure you remember, ma'am. Is
Of course.
ma'am, what asanas do we do to improve our hair growth and amazing skin? And the kind of reply that I got from ma'am is what you may want to hear once again, ma'am. Please tell me what is your response to people who come to you and says, ask these questions.
See what happens. I've worked a lot with aspiring actors. I still do. And I can understand at least their pressure of looking a certain way. Of course, that should also change. I mean, we have so many examples in our in film industry of
Hmm.
people who are not the conventional good-looking kind of people, and audiences are crazy about their performances because they are such powerful actors. Yeah. So
Exactly, yeah.
this belief also should change, and I'm glad it is changing
Yeah.
gradually. But apart from this category of people where they have to be obsessed with how they look,
Hmm.
yeah. Apart from them, I find it really strange when people get so hassled about how they are looking. But there
Hmm.
are other issues that I would rather care about,
Exactly,
and
yes.
that is having clear communication, for example. Yeah,
Hmm.
making sure that I am not sleep deprived, for example.
Hmm.
Making sure that I am eating in time, I'm eating nutritious food, because you are what you eat is not just some joke. What
Hmm.
you eat is forming every cell of your body. So we really need to pay attention there. Yeah.
Exactly,
So
yes.
I completely agree that we all have our own priorities, and somebody wants to have these are my priorities, and somebody else wants to have some other priority. That's
Hmm.
perfectly
Hmm.
fine. But my job, when they come to me with such questions, my job is to bring these thoughts back to them. But likes and
Yes.
dislikes are very common issues. And
Hmm.
I remember there was this student who once said that she hates birds. And I found that really absurd. I've heard of people not liking insects, for example. That is
Yes.
common, that they can give you creepy feelings, or they fly from here to there and you are scared they might bite you or whatever.
Hmm.
But why bichare birds here? I mean, so I asked her, where does this come from? First, of course, she was herself surprised that, yeah, actually, why does she hate birds? So I
Okay.
pushed her to think about it more. And she finally concluded that she does not like their feet. She
Oh,
thinks birds' feet are very ugly. Now, that's
okay.
purely your perception.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is not the bird's fault.
Correct.
I'm giving this vague example because when you say you find something or someone ugly, it's as absurd as this.
Yes.
And all these efforts that youngsters, I'm specifically talking about youngsters to begin
Hmm.
with, but you will see that the uh, thought process continues.
Hmm.
You'll see
Hmm.
people in my age, even older than me.
Hmm.
You'll come across many people who have very fixed ideas about what or who is beautiful.
Hmm. Yes. I get that.
And
Yes.
yeah, the idea of beauty in our country, I don't know why it's so
Hmm.
strongly stuck with the idea of fair. My
Yes.
father used to call this Gori Chamdi ki Gulami. Now, those who ruled us went
Hmm.
back decades ago. But this
Yes.
idea of fair skin being more superior
Hmm.
is somewhere stuck to our psyche. And then if
Yes.
I'm not as fair, I will do anything and everything possible to become more fair.
I have to tell you one example, which is my
Yeah,
personal
sure.
example right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, when I was very young, and I have three sisters, and
Mm,
I was the youngest, and we are six siblings. So,
mm,
there used to be cycle, and my sister used to take me to her friend's place. And once this happened that the other day I was just going, and I used to play out under the sun. Though that's the kind of setting we had. We had no indoor
yeah,
video games as such.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was black, like completely dark. And she went and she took me to a friend's place, and then the friend was just like she saw, and then she's like, "Who is this?" So my sister said that he's my brother, a younger brother, and the friend, my sister's friend, immediately the first reaction to after looking at me was, "Kitna kala hai ye?" This, why is he so kala? I say,
Yeah,
that's the kind of
yeah.
reaction she had. And then my sister got so offended, and I
Yeah.
must tell you this. She got so offended. She took me home, and because she was like, "तू आज से बेसन से नहाएगा, दही से नहाएगा, मलाई से नहाएगा, साबुन बिल्कुल नहीं लगाना है, ये वो." And she started trying all the experiment, and now you can see the result.
But it all seems to have worked, huh?
But the kind of torture I had to go
I
through.
can imagine. I can imagine. It's
Yeah,
really weird, if you go through these matrimonial ads, for example, where they
right.
say bride needed.
Yeah,
Yeah. What are
yeah.
they looking for? Slim,
Hmm.
tall, fair,
Fair.
beautiful, convent educated,
Hmm.
huh?
Yes,
Homely girl.
yes, yes.
Huh? Now, whether or not this person is loving and caring, how adjusting or accommodating is the person, what kind
Correct.
of educational background. You
Hmm.
want convent educated, but you don't want to see how that person did academically, right? So, if you go to the root cause of the problem, you will see that all this is coming from the inability to accept ourselves, to love ourselves as we are. The idea of I'm not good enough. Only if I had a better looking skin or better
Hmm.
hair, or if I was a few kilos lighter,
Hmm.
maybe others would like me. You know, these kind of thoughts keep coming into our minds.
Yeah.
And we are always looking for acceptance outside. You will see that once your relationship with yourself is better, you will see that your relationship with everybody else will improve. What is important is more than an idea of beauty, which is very subjective. What is more
Hmm.
important than that is health and hygiene. I'll explain how.
Yes.
Uh, for example, pimples.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, if one is regularly getting these pimples,
Hmm.
it may be common, doesn't mean it is normal. This is one
Correct.
thing I always say to my students, understand the difference between common and normal. Just because something is common
Hmm.
doesn't mean it is normal. It may
True.
be natural process of getting pimples, but if you are getting it again and again, acne, pimples, all these things, it is a
Hmm.
clear indication that your body needs some attention.
Correct.
That's why these boils are popping up again and again. Your body needs some help.
Hmm.
What are aches, pains, diseases? Your body's way of communicating that, boss, I need help. I'm not
Yes.
okay with what you're doing to me. Hair, for example, if you're having a lot of hair fall, it is an indication that there is
Hmm. Hmm.
something lacking in your body, some vitamins, minerals,
Something.
whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, it could be because of dandruff, it could be because of pollution, ABC, XYZ. There could be several factors. But
True.
it is an indication that you need help.
Yes. Yes.
Or then, just because you want your hair to look a certain color, then you are
Hmm.
unnatural. You are going to go on coloring it, kabhi this, kabhi that, perm, kabhi straightening, kabhi this, kabhi that. Now you're doing unnatural things to your hair. Now you be ready to
Experimenting.
face the consequences. Then you'll be ready to face the consequences.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
So health and hygiene is important. Making sure that your skin is clean
Hmm.
is necessary. But now correcting its color and then
Hmm.
trying this unnatural makeup and that and all kinds of things, then be ready to face the consequences.
True. True.
Yeah.
Is it also somewhere like your face, your beauty, your skin, whatever, how you look is also related to your emotions of how
Of
you
course.
feel? Okay.
Yes, yes, definitely,
Hmm.
definitely. And I can say this to you. Uh, I mean, come on, we've all been teenagers. We've
Yes.
all
Hmm.
been we've all been lost in life, trying to figure out what is it that we really want to do, what is it that we want to achieve, uh,
Correct.
exploring ourselves and all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the phase where you are that adolescence where you are leaving your childhood features behind and you're kind of reaching where you are going to be. Yeah, you're
Correct.
exploring yourself, you're trying to understand yourself better, all that stuff. Yeah, so that confusion shows,
Hmm.
that self-hatred shows. Even as we grow up, some people mentally never grow up beyond teenage. Yeah,
Hmm.
that shows. Yeah, and you
Yes.
will see that once we are at emotional peace with ourselves,
Hmm.
the person has the same features.
Hmm.
Nothing has changed. Maybe even the dressing is the same. But
Hmm.
because of that certain peace that the person has achieved with himself or herself,
Hmm.
it changes the overall presence of that person. And everybody, you will see that others who earlier were into kind of a conflict with this person
Hmm.
suddenly now look forward to being around them. They're at peace with themselves
Hmm.
and therefore with others.
Yes. Correct. After COVID,
Yeah,
especially, everything became online, everything became
yeah,
digital. And suddenly, everything on Instagram, Facebook became double than what it used to be before
yeah,
pandemic. Now everyone is on Instagram, everyone is doing their own stuff, and there are influencers, there are people, and now people are so insecure that they are looking for, okay, how many likes did I get on this picture? What do I do that my Instagram gets more followers, or what exactly do I do that my Facebook people friends request will increase, likes will increase? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a safe environment for them?
no, definitely not. This virtual world, we have so many cases. I don't read newspapers or watch news, so I don't really know statistically. But we
Mm,
all know such cases where you thought you were interacting with someone and it landed up being someone else. We all know
mm,
such cases. Yeah.
yes.
So I mean, I have friends whom I had to warn. People even older than I am, who very
Mm,
innocently believed that see the picture must be a nice person and ये वो friend
mm,
request आया तो zero mutual friends and then you still accept and you assume that whatever you're seeing is true. And I had to ask them, like, when you think that this is a woman communicating with you, how can you be
mm,
so sure? It could be somebody else altogether. The name could be fake, the photo could be fake, everything, anything is possible. There's so much crime happening because of that. So first
Correct.
thing first, we have to, I'm not saying start getting scared or whatever, but if
Hmm.
I now, for example, I'm connected with you on
Hmm.
social media, I know you personally, I've known you for
Yes.
years. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
a
Yes.
different issue altogether.
Correct.
But
Hmm.
interacting with strangers like this, doing anything to appeal to absolute strangers just to increase your number of followers, all this, where is it taking us? Is something we need to ask ourselves. And this fake
Hmm.
appreciation, मेरा क्या चाहता है to just post, oh, this is so beautiful and this is so nice and I think you are awesome and this and that. How do you even know I mean it? Yeah, so
Exactly.
why are we running after all this fake appreciation and acceptance is something we need to check for ourselves. Hmm?
Hmm.
And that's where I think counselors like us come into the picture, the elders at home, the friend
Hmm.
circle, everybody becomes important. We need to make sure that people around us are not getting lured into such uh, illogical, I would say, illogical
Yes.
kind of behavior. This is really no sense whatsoever. This is all very fake, and we need
Hmm.
to be very, very careful. I repeat, there is no harm in interacting with people you already know. Then there are people who argue, then how will I ever increase my social network? Now,
Hmm.
okay, I know you, Amit, and
Hmm.
somebody, a third person who approaches me, if the person is your friend
Hmm.
already, existing
Hmm.
friend, I could always cross check with you. Is this person really into existence? Do you really know this person? Yeah, you think
Yes.
it would be okay if I interact with? It's like you introducing me to someone at a party, as simple as that. It's still in the known
Exactly.
circle, perfectly fine. The moment we get into the zone of self acceptance, self approval, loving
Hmm.
the self, you will see that anybody else's appreciation is hardly important. I'm not saying
Correct.
that then if you come and appreciate me, I'll be like, huh, I don't care. That's not what I mean.
I
But
love myself.
waiting for, yeah, huh, exactly. Oh, I love myself. I don't care what you think of me. That's not the idea. Yeah, the idea is that even if you are not going to be appreciating me, it doesn't break me down.
Correct.
It doesn't make me starve for your attention. What can I do so that he or she is going to look at me and appreciate me and tell me that I'm all good and needs my company and all that stuff? None of this is going to matter then. And that's why I think the idea of beauty is very closely associated with the idea of acceptance.
A lot of people are very
Obsessed.
they're very obsessed now. Of course, the phone has become the mirror. The people look at their phones more than a mirror. But I have seen a lot of people going in front of the mirror and not noticing the positive points, rather noticing a lot of
Yeah,
flaws.
yeah, 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 yeah. That is
So
always the case. That is
yeah.
always the case, unfortunately. We are somehow, as if, there's some award for looking for problems. That's how we are like, see, I found out this is not okay. Yeah, that's the kind of obsession we have for looking for problems. I'll give you my own example. So, when I was doing the 7 days camp and we were all asked to submit. The first day, it starts at around 9 o'clock. And
Hmm.
then every day it starts at 7 in the morning. So we are given the assignment that you have to write down before you sleep tonight, write down 10 positive observations
Hmm.
and you submit first thing in the morning. I remember I wrote four,
Hmm.
okay, the first morning, and I was handing it over. And actually, I hadn't written anything at all. And I was like, no, no, I can't see anything positive. They said, no, no, you have to write.
Hmm.
So ऐसे ही बेमन से I wrote four and I handed over. Okay. The next day again they said, okay, where are your 10 positive points? So I used to be quite a rebel back then. So
Hmm.
I said, you can't force me. You
Hmm.
can't force me to write. I don't see any positive points. I will not write. It's okay. What is
Hmm.
the punishment? They said, no, no, there's no punishment for you, but unless I submit your positive points, I won't be given breakfast. ऐसा किसी ने बोल दिया, some volunteer. Of course,
Hmm.
now I know as a senior teacher, I know that the volunteer was just faking it. ऐसा कुछ punishment volunteer को नहीं मिलता है, but the volunteer just told. Oh, all hell broke loose. I was like, what kind of a jail is this? And how can they do this to you? And how can they force you to bring 10 positive points from somebody else? And only then you will be given breakfast and this. I'm going to make complaint. I'm going to complain about this and I'm going to take this lying down and this, that. They said, instead, just write down na, and give. I said,
Hmm.
okay, just because you should get breakfast, I'm doing this. Okay. And Anna, yeah, 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 you sit peacefully and write. So, Jabardasti, I wrote down something, something, and I gave. But every day, through the day, as we were working on ourselves, and I realized the importance of not getting bogged down by that which is not okay, but instead learning to appreciate the good around you.
Hmm. Hmm.
I remember on the last day, I
Hmm.
asked the same volunteer if I could go beyond 10. And when she told me, of course you can, I remember I submitted 14 points. Yeah. It was the journey of 6 mornings. Yeah.
Hmm.
But the point being, if you can keep this habit going,
Hmm.
if you can train the mind consciously
Hmm.
to look for the good, I'm not saying, then I've seen people go on the other extreme also, huh? Even
Hmm.
extremely mediocre thing, oh, this is so beautiful, this is so wonderful. Bhai,
Yes.
no, you don't have like that also. Yeah, if
Yes.
something can be improved, work towards it. But
Correct.
consciously make an effort, make an attempt to look
Hmm.
for the good around you also. That is very, very important.
Hmm.
And that's where we again come back to the point of changeable and not changeable. Something
Hmm.
might be bothering you. Is there
Hmm.
anything you can do about it? Go ahead and do it. If not, stop complaining.
Hmm.
If you want to sit, although all those drawing room conversations, you want to sit and complain and crib, oh, this country is going to the dogs, oh, the government is like this, and
Hmm.
the all the officers are corrupt, and the system is like this and that. You want to sit and talk about this all day long, your choice.
Hmm.
You want to use that time and energy to do something productive, something that is really meaningful, that can really bring about some meaningful change, is your choice. So again, it comes when we talk about looking for flaws in the mirror. When you
Hmm.
look
Hmm.
at yourself, only looking at your flaws, perfectly fine. I'm not saying just go around मैं अपनी favorite हूँ, and I'm not taking you to that zone, but
Yes.
that is the other extreme then.
That is an
Yeah,
extreme.
but the point being, okay, you may not be looking like whoever is your most beautiful definition. Um, कौन है आजकल यार ब्यूटी डेफिनेशन मेरे को तो पता ही नहीं है कौन है
Beauty definition.
मोस्ट
Um,
ब्यूटीफुल एक्ट्रेसेस हमारे इंडस्ट्री में कौन है आजकल
but
एनीवे
Alia Bhatt. Yeah.
Alia
Let's take
Bhatt, for
Alia Bhatt.
example,
Yeah.
I know Alia Bhatt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, for example, you think Alia Bhatt is the most beautiful girl around nowadays. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Fine. When you look into the mirror, you don't see Alia Bhatt.
Hmm.
That's perfectly fine. She's Alia Bhatt and you are you. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, the point is there anything you can do about it? If yes, do it.
Do it.
If not, stop cribbing.
Hmm.
You either accept what you cannot change or you change what you cannot accept.
Hmm.
As simple as that.
As simple as that. Wow. Yes. Guys, once again, I would like to tell you that we are now available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and our podcast name is Life Lessons and More, and my YouTube channel is Life Lessons and More. We are covering amazing topics with Divya Naithani. If you have questions, please write to us. You could always follow us on Instagram, Facebook. I will share the details as usual on the videos and on the Spotify. And do let us know what topics you want us to cover, if you want us to include them, or if you want to be a part of it, do let us know that too. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Amit. Yeah.